What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the RGT podcast, episode 173. A lot has happened this year, man. A lot has happened. It's been a lot of triumph, a lot of success, a lot of change. As you guys already know, channels went through a lot, and Big Cloud, aka me, has been afforded a lot of things that's happened this year. Of course, the channel had to be put on the hold. You guys already know the whole 9 yards. But of course, aside from that, we were given again a lot of cool moments for this year. This year will easily go down as one of the coolest years that I will personally say for the channel. And what better way to end off such a cool year by literally having the director himself from Death Stranding itself, the game. Ladies and gentlemen, this individual here is not only an actor, not only is he a musician, not only is he a former dancer, we know this guy as the badass in waiting in Death Stranding. The quiet guy, but also the serious dude. The dude that we thought was probably going to be the villain and ended up being one of the most influential guys on the show, or on the game, sorry. Guys, it's my honor, really, to welcome this individual. I've been a big fan of his for a long time, and I'm so happy to have him on the show to talk about not only Death Stranding, but also a few other things, and also get to know the guy. And you guys already know with these interviews, that's exactly what we do. He's already a fan of the interviews, so I already know he's going to have a blast with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor, my pleasure, to bring you the one and only Tommie Earl Jenkins. Tommie, how are you, sir?
What is up, man? Thank you so much for inviting me on this. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful chat. Let's dig into some stuff, man.
Absolutely. Guys, he has a YouTube channel as well. He's going to be doing a live stream after this, so if you guys want to check out his channel, I actually have it linked. If I don't have it linked in the description, I'll make sure I put it in the description when we end the show. But I did tag it in the post on the community forum for those of you that wanted to know. So make sure you guys go over there and check out his YouTube channel as well. But besides that, Tommie, man, Tommie. It has been a lot, man. A lot to uncover for this one, man. We already had a great conversation before we even started the show. We're gonna have that again. Don't worry, we're gonna bring that right back into this show. Right. At first, though, I want the world to know you personally. So, Tommie, tell us about yourself. What got you into not only acting, what got you into dancing? But I'm gonna bring that up in a second too. But what got you into the industry?
Wow. What got me into the industry? No, I started in this business we call show at a very early age. I'm 14 years old is kind of when I did my first paid professional theatrical job on stage. And it was always something I kind of grew up in the Midwest, Canton, Ohio, and I didn't have a lot of things around me, but there's something that I feel that's always instilled into a person when they want to express themselves, and performing has always been something within me, but I never really quite knew how to hone it. I would sing along to the radio, or I would do a little dance and copy something off the television or whatever, so I always felt like I had something in me, or I would sing in the school choir or stuff like that, and those little things started to add up to bigger things that I kind of discovered I could possibly make more out of this in a way that, this is something I could actually pursue. So when I did my first summer job, which was through an urban arts program in Canton, Ohio called CETA, and it was a summer program that they paid you to do whatever jobs were there, and they had a theatrical side, which was unusual. Anyway, I got my first paid job doing a musical called Pearly, and I was in the chorus of this show, and that really kick-started it for me, being on stage and performing in front of an audience, and I just fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. It was a chance to get on and do something where you felt like you kind of had this escape. No one could touch you in this particular world. Nothing could harm you. It was just a place to be and express and have joy and give joy to people.
Okay. So, obviously, you did dancing as well. I saw that you did ballet before. I did a little homework on you. I was like, whoa, he did ballet. Okay, so I got to ask you, what motivated you to become a dancer as well?
And so dancing was another thing. Like I said to you, when I saw things on television and people dancing and things like that, I kind of mimicked certain aspects of it. And then a friend of mine who was also a dancer, a childhood friend, was going to a dance school, and I didn't realize that you could go and study something. And then I got offered a scholarship at the Canton Ballet
Oh,
because they were
wow.
short of boys. And so it was our local ballet company, and they would, it was a way of getting guys to come in. You know, they always needed guys to lift girls. That was always the
Ah,
thing that
okay,
was
okay.
always missing. But in turn, I was able to learn the craft, learn the terminology, learn the steps, learn the discipline, um, and do it all for free because guys were short in
Right.
terms of there wasn't very many, and so it was a wonderful opportunity for me to get introduced into the dance world. And with that, I mean, I was able to take as many classes as I wanted. You know, sometimes I would do odd jobs around the studio,
Ah,
so it
okay.
was me giving back in a
Yeah,
way
of
in
course.
return. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I pretty much went my whole dance career almost without ever having to pay for dance lessons.
Wow.
And you know, I learned a little bit of jazz and modern and ballet, and then I got put into the ballet company, and then I eventually joined another professional company outside of that in Minnesota, and you know, and from that I got chosen to be in the second company of Alvin Ailey's uh, dance company, and you know, and that's where I had to make a decision. I remember auditioning for Alvin Ailey in New York, and
Right.
he called me up to the table during the audition, and this man was a legend, you know, and still is to this day. His company is incredible. It has incredible artists and dancers, some of whom I actually danced with many years ago. Um, but having to be chosen by him to go and be a part of his second company, and
Mm-hmm.
then to decide, is this what I'm going to do? Because at this point, I was also at a crossroad of, do I do continue on with doing musical theater, or you know, going to do more Broadway? And I had to make that decision because my head was just like, I just want to do everything.
You just
I
want to
want to
learn.
do
You want to
everything.
absorb it
Yeah.
all in.
I want to be a sponge. I want to soak up everything. And you know, and the dance world is different because it's devoted to dance. It's
Right,
strictly
right. Your
dance. That's
craft.
it. So therefore, I had to make this big decision about, well, how do I incorporate something that lets me do everything?
Yeah.
And once I finished working with the dance companies, I just decided that that's musical theater was something that allowed me to do everything. And then, of course, everything started to fall in place after that. You know, whether it's the TV and film, or whether it's, you know, doing voice work, and
Mm-hmm.
because honestly, everything is connected in some form or another. It's how you choose to tick those boxes, and
Mm-hmm.
also how other people see you, and trying to
Ah,
break boundaries down. You
okay.
know,
So
um,
do you still like attend those type of dance like shows? Like when you see them, like do you go
oh
attend
my
them?
God! So I still go to shows whenever I can go to shows
Okay.
and see
Yeah.
them. You know, and I still consider myself a theater performer.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been on stage for the last time I was on stage in Jersey Boys was probably 2015.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's gonna be a
you know,
while for
but
back on stage.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's a show that I'd been in and out of. I was in the original company in the West End in London. I went to Broadway to do it for a stint, and also in Vegas, I did that company for a stint. So that show is been a big part of my life. But it's the last stage show that I was a part of. Prior to that, I've done many stage shows, but. You know, and it's not something that I've shelved. It's something that I feel like at some point, you know, obviously live theater is going through something right now at the moment because shows are closing and opening and closing due
Mm-hmm.
to COVID. But I love theater. I absolutely, you know, and I have every intention at some point to go back and maybe do a fantastic play on Broadway,
Yeah.
or something that's really, you know, a nice meaty piece of work to get my teeth into. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's going on? I see you. What's up, John Breyer, Ice
There you
Queen,
go.
always Mad Gaming. What's up, Mark Rammer? My good friend Salah Rev. He said, "Yo, tell my man he did a damn fine job acting at the end of Death Stranding. Ask him if he was legit crying tears or did they just add them digitally? Because you know they have the little
Yeah,
trackers
yeah,
on your
yeah.
face. Did
Yeah,
they?
yeah,
Did they
yeah.
do that or was that all legit
No, no,
tears?
no. So this is a question that always comes up
Oh wow.
uh, in interviews. It always comes up, and people ask, you know, if they were digitally put there, the tears and stuff, and the honest to God's truth is no, they were not.
Wow.
Those tears were real, you know, and I remember that particular day. That's that doing that scene. I loved it. I'm sure we're going to get into all that, but now that because they've mentioned that particular moment, maybe we'll come back to it. But yes, those two to answer the question, the tears were real.
Okay. All right. There you go. There you go, Ref. Yeah, there you go. The man, those are real tears.
They were real. Yeah, believe me.
We saw Battlefield. We got Narcotic. We got Ice. So it was, there's everybody. What's going on? Oh, Craig. What's up, Craig? Welcome. He says, sup. And hello to you, Mr. Jenkins. Good to see you. So, now that we got that around, ironically, that just transitions right into the game. I gotta ask you, Tommie. You know, obviously, you see the creative mind of Hideo Kojima. You see how deep he is when it comes to creativity. Sure. What brought you to his game? Were you always a fan of Hideo Kojima? Like, were you always a gamer, so to speak? Did you hear about him?
So here's the truth on that. So I don't consider myself a gamer. Okay. I have played games and I love games. I voice a lot of them, and I don't often get a chance to play. I've got so much going on, that I don't never get a chance to really sit down and just play. I've always got too many irons in the fire to stop, and I would love to play more, and I will. But what came about with this particular project is I got as any actor does, we get a casting notice that comes through your agent, and that's what happened. I got a self-tape. And so I had this breakdown come through. They were looking for this particular character. It was nondescript. There was nothing to give away who this guy was. It was just listed, I think, as the commander.
Okay. So you didn't see the character model, because that seems like to be the staple here. Everybody just gets like a brief description of what he is or what the character is, and then you wing it kind of thing because you don't know what it looks like, right?
They give you the bare minimum. Okay. Because if it's something that's going to be kept under wraps, they don't want anything.
They don't want no spoilers, right?
No spoilers of any kind. So it was just this guy was known as the commander, and I had some dialogue. And I filmed it here in my upstairs in my little flat here in the studio, and did it, and I didn't hear anything for a while. And probably, I want to say it was probably like a month that I had sent the tape back in, a month, maybe two, that I hadn't heard back. And then when I got the information back, that's when I found out who was doing it, what it was going to be, and everything. And still at this point, I hadn't I wasn't kind of in the Kojima world.
Right.
And so when someone mentioned Metal Gear, I was like, yes. But so when I started to work with him, I was much happier in one respect that I didn't let the sort of legacy of him overtake me.
Okay. Yeah.
Beforehand. And I absolutely adore this man. I absolutely adore him.
Yeah.
And just learning more about him since having worked with him.
He's a real humble dude.
Oh my gosh. It's been such an incredible journey. And to be connected with him and to be a part of this amazing project. So I got to know him through that process. And so, like I said, Death Stranding came about as a self-tape, as a casting. I did an audition, and they chose me, and then from that, the journey really began.
Okay. Yeah. So, you got the offer, you got the email. I know you were blown away when you got the email when it happened, and when you finally, I guess, stepped foot on, I think it's Kojima Productions, right? Kojima Productions, his new studio. How do you describe the feel? It was like the experience when you actually went there and started recording and mocapping.
Yeah, so I did it at SONY here in down in Marina Del Rey. And at their studios, sound stages, but everyone was there, so Kojima was there, and I met him on the first day of rehearsal. I didn't get to meet him until that first day. It was a work day, and it was, I could tell from it all and how everyone was acting and how everyone was feeling, and everyone seemed excited about the project. But I also knew what was ahead of me, because I had gotten scripts and I'd gotten storyboards prior to all that, to that first day. And so I was absolutely excited and didn't really quite know the process, because also it was my very first motion capture that I've done. But to me, it became a challenge because I found it very different to working
Traditional acting.
than working on film and TV and stage. It was closer to stage work for me in one respect
But it
because
was
of how
kind
we
of
were working.
right.
Without the film and TV, there was no props and no
Right, no
background,
cues. Right.
nothing. You know,
Yeah.
so everything as an actor, I always felt that was even more of a challenge because I had to dig much deeper
Yeah.
to imagine the surrounding, what was
So I
around.
love your answer because I asked this a lot when I interview people who played in the video games. A lot of the majority of them have said it wasn't really that big of a difference for them or a challenge for them to do the acting slash voice mocap. But hearing your take, I'm like, yeah, I get it exactly. I'm
I
guessing,
find it, yeah,
yeah,
I
I'm
found it
guessing they
much
had
more
the experience or more experience with it. That's how they're
Yeah,
used to
but you
it.
know, I suppose everyone is different,
Yeah,
and like I said, I can only speak from my point of
of
view. I
course, of
found it
course.
much more challenging because with film and TV, a lot of it is done for you. Sometimes you just because you step on a set, there's if you're in an office, there's a desk, there's
Of
a
course.
secretary, there's the telephone, there's all of these things around you that all you need to do in some respects is also live in the moment.
Hmm.
But when you don't have that stuff around you, if you're around in a snowstorm or in a torrential rain or a hurricane,
Right.
you have to dig up that emotion because you don't have it around you on a motion capture stage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you
Yeah.
don't have the elements. You're not filming outside where the elements are beating down on you.
Right. You have to
Um,
visualize it in your mind and just kind of
Correct.
like go with the moment
Yeah.
type of
And
thing.
as the actor, you have to pull from that toolbox and dig up those emotions and those feels to make it as real as possible. You know.
Okay. Yeah. How did you feel about Die-Hardman? I'm very curious. Like, obviously, you applied for the role, you got the role, but how did you feel about that overall character, especially when we got to the epic reveal at the end? Like, how did you feel about him? Did you think he was more so like a character that was going to be like an antagonist in the game, like a twist was going to happen, sort of thing, so to speak, when
Well,
you
to
got
be
there?
honest, I didn't. I kind of got the bullet point of the story, the beginning, middle, and then end of
Okay.
what happens, but I didn't really, in terms of the character.
Mm.
I think for me, I understood his position being the sort of commander of bridges, the leader of bridges,
Mm-hmm.
the president's right hand. He's a high up authority figure, and a military man.
Yeah.
And for me, I had to decide how do I want to play this, but still keep the integrity of the piece as
Mm-hmm.
well as the vision of the creator.
Right.
So for me, that was first and foremost for me for what I had to do. And then when I knew what had to happen to him in the end, there had to be something that had to either be it had to be flipped on its head
Right.
to the point where you kind of go, wow.
Yeah.
And for me, I think the journey of what he does, because some people like Die-Hardman, some people hate Die-Hardman,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's absolutely wonderful for me to hear because either you like him or you don't like him,
Yeah. He's a
and
conflicted
or you're
character.
dubious about him or what are his motives.
Right.
And for me, I think I had the most dialogue in the entire game next to Norman,
Mm-hmm.
if not maybe surpassed by a word or two.
Yeah.
But I think he speaks a lot clearly,
Yeah.
and he
He's
has been known to
definitely has
be,
authoritative voice. He's there. He's
yeah,
yeah.
he's there calling the shots, and he's some people will call him the quest giver, or the mission giver, or whatever. But the point for me was that I felt like I needed to keep emotion completely disconnected from him
Understandable.
because
Yeah.
there was for him to get involved in things emotionally. I felt there was too much for a militant man like him that I perceived him to be. Was it's business first, emotions have no place.
Right.
This I'm not connected. I'm not here to be a friend. I'm here to be the
The
leader
leader.
and a commander. And don't get me wrong, I will have a moment where I might have a chuckle every now and then, but for the most part, I have a job to do. And this
Right.
mission is the most important thing, and I don't care how it fucking gets done.
It's going to
It
get
just
done.
needs to get done.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to, give you the ups and downs of how things are emotionally and stuff. Let's just get it
Yeah,
out.
he doesn't hold hands. He literally says,
This
"I
is
need you to get from point A. I need you to
the
get to
point
point
B.
B. And if you
Yeah,
don't get to point B, we're gonna have a problem."
we're
That's
gonna have a
literally
big,
it.
we're gonna have a problem, And so I love that aspect. And then when I had the opportunity to reveal what got revealed, it was the moment where, people didn't would never have expected that to turn around. And for that, I think it was a wonderful journey to be able to dig deep into
Yeah.
that. I'll never forget the day that all happened. It will forever live with me. And
Yeah.
to know that people still feel moved by that.
Oh,
You
dude,
know,
you should have seen when the game went to PC. It was like literally, it felt like a relaunch of sorts because the
yeah,
love got reinvigorated even more. Everybody
yeah,
was so eager to see the journey and the
yeah,
end. And at
yeah,
the end of the game, when they beat it, it was like, wow, damn, no wonder why people love this game so much. You
yeah,
know, they love your character, they love Norman,
yeah,
they see it. And the crazy thing about it, the game eventually, when we first saw Death Stranding, we didn't see gameplay at all. It took a minute for us to see gameplay. We
right,
saw Norman on the beach with the baby,
right,
the
right,
handprint,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
it just said Death Stranding. You had like the little floating people, and I'm like, everybody's like, okay,
right,
that was odd, but this is a Kojima style game. And then we get to the overall reveal and we play, and we're like, okay, this is not a game at this point. This is an experience. And I do
yes,
agree that somebody needs to experience this at least once. I'm not saying you
yes,
gotta play it 15 times to get the gist of it.
yeah,
No, the game is that well directed, and you guys did such a good job where
yeah,
you understand it. Even halfway through, you just get it. It's like,
yeah. Yeah,
oh,
yeah, and
it's a
it's
twist.
definitely an experience. It's definitely an experience, and I think it was one of those things where I think people had an expectation of something else, and it turned out to be something else other than that. But what I think most people enjoyed about it is once they got past a certain stage, they were like, "I am in this.
Yeah.
I'm here for the long haul. I need to figure out what's going on." And it's an emotional roller coaster. It really is. It really, really.
Yeah, like chapter 3, I tell people this all the time, those who didn't play it. It's like
Yeah,
once you get past chapter 3, which is like pretty much the big tutorial, so to speak, of what you're going to
sure.
be doing, like going through point A to point B, getting
Yeah,
past the little demons or the little biohazards. Once you get past that stuff and you understand that you got to go point A to point B with the packages and you kind of get in a rhythm of it, that's when the
yeah,
game really opens up. You're like, oh, and then you start
yeah,
seeing everybody as a community built
yeah,
around you, and it's like, oh, holy crap! I don't remember a bridge being here. I
mm,
don't remember a
yeah.
road being here from this
Isn't
point,
that
and,
something?
and you helping to it. And it's like that's something I want in a lot of video games. I would like to have something where you're building and you don't see
Yeah,
them all the way, but you might see holograms of them every now and then
yes,
where they help you out and go,
yeah,
hey, you need help? Here's some ammo. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that's my guy. I
yeah,
appreciate you. Like that. Like that's the cool thing about Death Stranding, and it does a lot of cool things that a
yeah,
lot of games simply do not do.
yes,
It really does empower the player, and I
yeah,
really do like think that's what's so good about the charm of the game.
yeah.
So, you know, when you go back at this and you look at it, and you said it's an experience. How did you feel knowing that you were literally with Daryl and you're doing these scenes and you're seeing this game get the praise that it was? I'm pretty sure you were just like you had a big smile on your face. You're like, damn, they really love us. They really love
Yeah,
this. Like, what
yeah.
was your thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest, and how big it was going to be, or that people had been waiting for the next Kojima project to come out, and then to work with Norman and Mads and Lindsay Wagner and all these people was an incredible journey, and I felt honored to be a part of the project,
Yeah.
as well as being able to work with this A-list team of actors. And it was wonderful because Norman and I hit it off, and I have a lot to thank him for
Mm-hmm.
in terms of just his presence of being there and just watching, and there was this mutual kind of camaraderie that
Yeah.
I think we had, a mutual respect, and he's got an incredibly high profile. I don't have the profile that he has, but as an actor, he there was this
Motivate you? Would you say?
well, yeah, well, just the fact that we were on the same level playing field in
Yeah.
in terms of as artists, You know, you leave all that, the other stuff outside the room, and we walk in and we're on the same playing field.
Right.
And he was so giving and so present. And certainly during that final scene,
Yeah.
you know, his stillness, his presence, his engaging in that entire scene is what led me to sort of climb and to, I suppose, deliver the performance that I did, because he was committed to being there with me. And even though it was all on me, I could not have done it without him, because it was the story that I was telling and revealing was to him. And you know, just a certain glint or a look in his eye or a slight raise of an eyebrow told me he was listening. And therefore, I knew that I was telling him the story, and he was engaged in it.
You know, when you look at the game again, everybody playing it, how'd your family feel seeing you in a video game like of this magnitude? Like, I gotta ask this.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's interesting because this sort of goes into like another. So what my family certainly feels. They've seen clips on YouTube, because they're not necessarily gamers, but they have seen, you know, people have posted clips and, you know, and all the cut scenes and things like that. And so they're always very impressed. And now, you know, family's family. They always love
Of course. They're always going to be there. Yeah.
But, you know, and also my peers and other colleagues and stuff who are gamers, who have sent me messages saying, "Oh man, I just beat Death Stranding," and then, you know, talk about your performance and everything, and, you know, and you appreciate it because they understand it, they know what it entails, and they know what you go through in order to create. And, you know, it's the fact that we have this ability, and we're fortunate to be able to take people on these amazing journeys by the work that we do and these stories and telling these stories, and I get such joy from that. You know, that's why we do what we do.
Tom, you know, I gotta ask this question because, you know, you see the films now kind of becoming the superhero genre. Is big money there? Obviously, you know, the big bucks coming and the big projects, big stars there. How do you feel seeing that video games went from just being couch play type of thing to now rivaling, if not beating, a lot of these AAA budget films? Like, how do you feel about that? Because Death Stranding is. I mean, that's a movie by itself. If you would take away the gaming,
everyone says it. Everyone says it. And listen, I'll tell you, when I first saw snippets, I had gone into like a voiceover session, and I think I'd seen some cut scenes that I had to look at. And when I saw the quality and the technology that had been put in and especially because you look at yourself, you know that your likeness is being used, and you look at yourself, and I looked at myself on the screen and I thought, damn, that's me.
Yeah, that's lovely. You when you put the mask on, I'm like, yeah, that's DieHardman.
That's me through and through. And, you know, just the detail of everything, to the hair, to the teeth, to the lips, to the eyes, everything was there. And so I think the way technology is moving, and that we have the ability to stand up to some of the amazing big budget films that are out there, and not just Death Stranding, but a lot of other projects that are doing incredible work. You know, and people have said, you know, I think that there should be an Oscar for gaming. There should be, you know, when you get to that level of certain technology in people's performances, maybe there should be a category that leads into something like that. I don't know. You know, it would be wonderful to be able to have it. I have missed the boat now, but no, I think it's great. I think it would be. It's just getting that recognition and that acknowledgement that what people do in this genre of work is equal to what we do on film and television in a way.
Right.
You know, you are still digging deep for your emotion. You're still taking people on a journey. You're still giving these performances that move people, you know? So it'd be interesting to see where it goes. I have, my mind is blown by where it is at the moment, and I can only imagine where it's going to head.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you saw this. It was a thing called the Unreal Engine 5 demo, but it was the Matrix. They were showing off, like, they can recreate stuff from the first film. They were doing, like, the first, you know, when he wakes up and he's by the computer and all that stuff, and how detailed that was. They were showing off the transitions. When you see stuff like that, and you just see, you know, how far technology has come. Gotta ask this question: if Hideo Kojima approached you, let's just say hypothetically tomorrow, and said, "Hey, Tommie, part 2, you down?"
Listen.
How likely are you to say that? Because I need that sequel ASAP. I'm just saying.
Listen, if that was ever to happen, I'd be crazy not to say, to say yes, So if he ever decided to open that door and say, "Listen, come back," of course. I mean, why I'd be crazy not to. I think it would be a wonderful opportunity to continue something with that. Who can say?
Yeah, like, do you think Hardman deserves his own like separate game? A lot of people were talking about like stuff like that because the way he looks, his character with the mask and everything. A lot of people want to know a little bit more behind his, the mystique, like behind the mask.
Sure.
Yeah, like a prequel type of thing. Like what got Die-Hardman in his position? What led to the decision involving Norman's character and his father? I'm like,
Sure.
that would be pretty powerful film. Or well, that's a film, but a game.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it would be one. I'm not the creator, nor am I the writer of it all. But knowing the history of Die-Hardman and in his relationship with Cliff prior to that, and what their journey was as military men, on the battlefield and off the battlefield or whatever, and Cliff being sort of a family man, I think it'd be interesting to see how the truth in how Die-Hardman became who he was. Yeah. I think it would be a wonderful thing to if they ever decided to do something like that, and make him a playable character. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It'd be interesting to see how that journey would go. But yeah, I think it would be great. I'm not going to say no.
Okay. No, I mean, like, it's just crazy how far gaming has literally come. You see the new Spider-Man trailer for the Spider-Man movie. I already seen it. It was a great film. But when you see the fight scenes, stuff like that, that's on the trailer. And you go back to what we got in 2018 with Spider-Man for the PS4, and you're going to see more on PS5. It's like, when you see that type of advancements in tech, I got to ask, how excited does that make you for the future, just the gaming platforms in general? You see I don't know if you saw Hellblade 2, but they really shot a lot of crazy stuff with that too.
Yeah, listen, I'm so excited about where everything is heading, because in such short spaces of time we've already seen how much technology evolves. So even in the next 5 years of where it can possibly be is mind blowing. Because they're constantly. I mean, you kind of wonder how far can it really go?
Yeah.
How far can it really go? But I'm definitely excited about to see where it goes, what technology gets used, how certain things are done. Does that make it easier or harder for the artists when they're doing it? I think it's always something I'm always open to watching and learning and just seeing and living in a moment where I just am embracing all the newness that comes out.
Okay. Tom, I gotta ask this question personally. Do you see gaming more so as art now? Because a lot of people are really starting to see it as art compared to just like the traditional way of thinking for gaming, where it's like, oh, it's a time waster type of thing. Like, how do you feel about it now? Do you really see it as like the next level of art with the way what they're able to do with the tech?
Listen, I think, to be honest, I think you have to look at everything in some form or another as an art form. No matter how we look. So gaming, to me, it probably seems maybe people are seeing it more now as an art form because of part of that technology and the storytelling and things like that. But to be honest, I suppose it has always been an art form. It's whether or not the people have recognized it.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
That it's gotten its recognition. But I definitely feel that gaming and games are an art form. Because you have to take what people bring to it. You have to take the actors who come in. You have to take the people who are creating the stories, who are telling the stories, who are designing it, who are doing all that work and using their own artistic abilities to create this. So yes, by all means, it is 100% an art form.
You heard it from the man himself. You heard it from the director, ladies
Yes,
and gentlemen.
yes,
So
definitely.
I gotta ask you, because not only do you represent, obviously, the gamers, but you represent another community. You represent the LGBT community as well. You're a big supporter of them. So
I
this
do.
is directly for you. This question right directly centered around you.
Right.
When you look back at this game, how do you feel knowing that you inspired so many in that community that they can go out there and make a memory, so to speak, with Die-Hardman or their own type of style with these games?
Um, Listen, firstly, yes, I am a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community,
Mm-hmm.
and I have always been. And it's the acceptance of how we as artists, as actors, have in the past has been a roadblock
Mm-hmm.
for us. In this day and age, I feel now these doors have opened up in a way where we
Of
kind of go,
course.
let's stop seeing people for that reason and judging their ability based on what you know
Right, right,
what
right,
they
right.
represent. Because to me, an actor is an actor.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter to me what your sexual orientation is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that if a person is right for a job and they can come in, I understand that certain people kind of go, yeah, but if we know that about them, then people won't buy it, they won't understand it, they won't
Mm-hmm.
buy into that character. And I always say, don't underestimate your audience. Don't presume
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how everyone thinks. People believe what's put in front of them. And if a person is doing a brilliant job at something, I applaud them for doing that. So I feel very proud that hopefully that the work that I have done and people have seen it and have been able to be inspired in some form or another in that community to say, well, yeah, if he can do it, then that makes me feel that I can do it. Yes, of course you can. I would tell anybody
Mm-hmm.
you can do whatever it is you want to do. You just have to put your mind to it. It sounds
Absolutely.
cliche, but that is the truth of it.
And that's the
You're not going
gravity
to
of
get
how
done by
well
itself.
your performance was. So I'm trying to tell you, you represent a big success within the community, and you
Yeah.
inspire a lot. Yeah.
And I'm proud of that. I'm absolutely 100% proud of that. I'm proud of who I am. I try to live in my authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
and don't get me wrong, there was a period in my life where I felt like I couldn't express
Right,
that.
right, right,
I
right.
couldn't say how proud I am to be a gay man or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
because those things did go against me
Yeah.
growing up, and they were held against me. They did prevent me from maybe being seen for a particular role
Mm-hmm.
in a job. But now also at a point in my life where I do what I do,
Exactly.
and I try to do it to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that my personal life should ever come into play when it comes to me playing a role,
Right. Your future.
or my future or my work. If I go in, I do the job that I'm required to do. I do what's required for that particular role. If it entails being you know uh, a crazy maniac, a drug infueled beast, or a political figure, or
Right.
a
Right.
family man, or whatever the case may be. My job as the actor is to make that
Right.
happen.
Right. I mean, like again, like you're a big supporter, you're a big, member of the community, and just to see your impact. For example, I'll bring up something. I don't know if you're a fan. You ever heard of? I'm pretty sure you saw the horror film Child's Play back in the day, the
Yes.
Chucky films. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have a
yeah.
TV show. It's called Chucky,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the main protagonist character is actually a gay character, and he
Okay.
is a big support, big member of that as well, and that
Sure.
impact as well has not only brought the franchise into more light, but it's helped put more. I would say it's helped inspire more, into the industry of either whether it be film or in your
Yeah.
case video games, which you do. You see what I'm saying? Like you all represent a big part of success. What I'm trying to say
Sure.
in the spotlight. So.
Sure. And I think it's wonderful to see it. I think representation does matter. I think it is important for people to acknowledge it and to accept that it is there. It's not going away.
Yeah.
It is something that I feel that we all, it's a part of our lives in some form or another. and surely that we all know people in that community,
Mm-hmm.
have friends and family and close colleagues that we know who are
Mm-hmm.
part of that community, and we support them, we support their work, and I think it's important to support that community as well. So I'm all for it, and I'm all incredibly proud that people have taken my work, and certainly in this game, and have seen it, and looked at it in a way that they feel inspired by
There
it.
you go. There you
And
go.
I just only hope that that's stuff that I can continue to do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the man himself. Uh, Shout out to the Iron Lords podcast, my good friends over there. What's going on, guys? They dropped a $10 super chat. They said, salute to Tommie for the insight and tremendous performance, and Big Cloud for providing this spotlight. Great to see. He says, Cognito. Shout out to you,
Like
Cognito. Shout out to everybody. I see you guys. What's up, Joanna Dark? What's up, Nathaniel, George, Apex? What's going on, Bray? All you guys who came through, man. We appreciate you. Go ahead, hit that like button. We're getting a lot from Mr. Tommie Jenkins. And look. He's smiling from ear to ear. He's having a great time. I told you you're going to have a great time. That's the point of
Hey,
this.
I am. I'm here for it.
So, back to the game for a second here, because there's a lot to unravel here. What was your favorite memory working with Kojima? Yeah, that was. I figure you had a lot more than one.
I think just the fact that I've had the opportunity to work with him,
Okay.
and to be in his presence of someone who is just so calm, and and easygoing, and even though we speak different languages, he has an interpreter there who will speak it. It is brilliant at it. But yet, when I have a conversation with him, I'm looking directly at him, but I'm hearing the interpreter give sort of relay everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see it. There's a communication that happens. You can see in someone's eyes their physicality that we understand. And it was just wonderful to watch him and his process, and to think this man has all of this in his head, and finds a way to get it out onto paper, into a game, out to people for people to play. And you go, that's incredible to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were like, okay, they're attached to fetuses.
Yeah. But you gotta go. I'd like a little buy a ticket to
the movie with the guy with the fetus attached to his.
I'd like to buy a ticket if we can get into Kojima's head. I'd like to take that trip. Sneak me down, let me get in there and see what's all going on. Because it's incredible.
I was so confused. We were all confused when we saw that. I still remember everybody's reaction to this day when we first saw the trailer, and then we saw another trailer where we saw the little fetus and the baby's like, "Hey," I'm like, what did I just see?" And then the baby's like flipping around,
like you're on a trip or something.
What is going on here? I'm like, okay, Kojima, you lost me for a second.
When they even explained it, they were giving me bits of the story along the way and saying, yes, it is confusing, and it was confusing along the way, even for us as the actor. But once we knew, and that's why I think we had to take everything step by step. And so I know what happened before this, what's happening after this particular scene, so I know where we're how to play this. So you were like sort of drip fed little bits at a time, because otherwise I think it's just too overwhelming. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of names, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and also you're dealing in a time frame that's what I think maybe 20 odd years ahead in the future.
Oh, we're about to get into that. We were talking about that earlier. We're getting to that in a second. And y'all in for a good conversation in a second. I mean, it was already phenomenal, but I'm telling you, it's about to give him more fun.
Well, I tried to break not long ago. I do this sort of joy to the word, which is a sort of a little thing that I have on YouTube, and so one of my last series was devoted to Death Stranding, and to the emails that came in, and so there's an entire over like 200 that I go through. There's like 10 episodes, and we go through each email and discuss. So if anyone's out there listening, get a chance to to check onto the Death Stranding edition of Joy to the Word, and from all of those, we go through the characters and we talk about things like that and discuss, so if that happened, was it in the future, was it what, so it's interesting, and that really helped me even now go back and understand the story so much more.
Yeah. So a lot of games try that. They put the audio logs in and they don't really accomplish anything because, you kind of like go, you still kind of lost me, like Death Stranding special. Yeah. Because it's not like you lost. You just like, you understand it. And at the end of the day, you appreciate it more because wow, that was powerful. Yeah. That was deep. That was a nice little spin or twist.
Yeah.
And you hardly see that as much nowadays when it comes to open world type of games of that magnitude. Sure. So it's absolutely true though what's happening here. You were talking about Kojima Productions for a second. I gotta ask you because Kojima, before he got his own studio, Kojima Productions, he was mostly with he was mostly with Konami, making Metal Gear Solid games, and he was kind of locked under contract with PlayStation. He still obviously works with PlayStation because they don't have a good working relationship. But I gotta ask now you see this game and you see a little bit more of his craziness in his mind, how he goes about it. What are your thoughts on his unique direction when it comes to storytelling with the whole team and everybody?
Listen, I think the man is a genius. I think his way of storytelling is so far advanced in a lot of ways, and the imagination that he has in order to tell these stories and come up with these types of characters. Obviously they resonate with people because he wouldn't have the fan base that he has. So there has to be something. And even though I think Death Stranding was somewhat polarized in terms of what people thought of it, I think even for those people who, I've had people send me messages and saying, they had no intention of really playing the game. They saw it as a walking simulator and all this sort of stuff. Eventually, somebody else convinced them to play it, and their whole mind just changed. I
had to do that so many times on stream. One dude was like, dude, I'm getting bored watching. I'm like, this isn't a game you play. It's a game you experience. You have to literally go in. You have to take it on. Basically, the best way to go about Death Stranding, because I saw somebody say I wasn't going to play Death Stranding to this interview. Listen, when you go into this game, erase your mind. Go into this game and just follow the rules. When I mean follow the rules, play it within its strengths. And when you play the game, you'll really start seeing why it's built like this, why it's got this crazy landscape, why it's got these crazy elements with the guy with a fetus. Ignore the baby. It's going to start crying when you fall. Ignore the baby. but I'm telling you, stuff like that.
It's all part of the story. It's all linked together. And when you realize and everything starts to unfold, you really get locked into this story, and all these characters, you start to understand how they are all related and how crazy that world is. But imagine, people can spend hours just roaming around this world that he's created. The landscape is incredible. No matter where you go, you feel like you will never come to an end. Right. If you decided to wander off somewhere, you wonder how far you can actually go before you kind of hit like a dead end. Do you ever hit a dead end? Has anyone ever tried that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me see how far I can walk and see how far I can, see how many hours. Wonder if I can get across the country,
Good luck with that. You're going to need some bionic legs.
I'm telling you. Well, with the director's cut, there's been a lot of new stuff. So...
I joke around with my audience a lot about that. I was like, they got the easy mode because you got catapults, you got rocket boots. I'm like, I ain't had that luxury. I had to walk.
Play the original.
I was like, play the original. You have a better understanding. But they're like, nah, I prefer this one. I'm like, okay, enjoy.
You gotta work a little harder.
Shout out to KSRT, what's going on? Sean, Red Hood, Dewan, what's going on? Game Largo, what's going on? Big shout out to Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. They dropped a $5 super chat. They said, salute Big Cloud and Tommie. Great show and guest. There you go, man. They're loving you, Tommie. They are loving you.
Send the love right back. Send the love.
So I gotta ask because we talked about this a little bit, but it was a great conversation we were having before we even started the show. And this is how powerful again, you said we agree. Hideo Kojima's a genius when it comes to just really his creativity and
Sure.
foresight. How do you feel seeing that Death Stranding pretty much predicted the future, and how does that make you look back on the experience? Does it affect your experience now, and in like a different feeling when you look at the state of the world and you look at where we are now, obviously with COVID? How do you feel about Death Stranding predicted the future?
Listen,
You know, we're now delivery man with this whole DoorDash and stuff. You know, you got stuff like that
dude,
happening.
my mind was blown
Yeah.
because to me, when I started Death Stranding, it was just the story. No idea about anything else. About yes, it took place in the future and this, and this, but no idea about what was about to come. And not, I swear to God, a year after the release of Death Stranding, we moved into COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was almost as if he'd
A
sat
sign.
there
Yeah.
and he literally, it was like the man saw into the future.
Yeah.
He saw into the future and thought, I'm going to write this and then I'm just going to put it all
I got
out
a
there.
dream. There's something's going to happen soon, but how do I metaphorically say it in a video
Right.
game and make it challenging and make it interesting? And it's like, Death Stranding. I'm like,
I've never known anything like it. I've never known anything to be so accurate
yeah,
in its prediction of what was to come. It was just crazy, and the whole fact that also the game was about unity and connecting, and
right. And we're missing
and
that in today's society.
bringing us together. Yeah,
Yeah,
it had so many things that were related to our current state of affairs and what was to come. That it was absolutely mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. But my experience after that was, damn,
it happened.
it happened. It really happened, and it's still happening.
Yeah, we went from the obviously we went from the United States of America to the United Cities
City.
of
Yeah.
America. I'm like, whoa, that was
Yeah.
dope. That was deep. That was really
Yeah.
deep how we looked at that, because you saw
Yeah.
when we went through the last 4 years,
Sure.
in the midst of the COVID thing, it's like, damn, this guy was so true though. We're so not divided.
Yeah.
We're not. I'm sorry, united. Sorry, we're very divided, and
Yes.
everybody has their own either agenda, political view,
Yeah.
which is understandable. I mean, obviously, but
Absolutely.
it should never affect us to a point where we can't come together to fix
Absolutely.
a common problem or a simple problem, and
Because
you
it's
really
the
see it. Yeah,
United. It is the United States
Exactly.
of America, and every state should be united. That is what what makes up our country.
absolutely.
And every country is run its own. Every state is run its own way. And yes, we do have political parties that can sometimes divide us in various ways. But at the end of the day, I've always said that shouldn't it be for the greater good of the people and for the country, and by
Yeah.
that means inclusive of everyone.
Right.
And once again, you're never going to please everybody. I said this earlier. You're never going to please everybody, no matter
Yeah.
who's in office.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Democrat or Republican, leader of the free world.
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone who is not happy about it.
Yeah.
All you can hope for is that person goes in, and sometimes that person has to clean up a lot of mess.
Oof, you
in order
ain't.
to-
That's an understatement.
and I'm just like, that mess is still getting clean.
Yeah.
And it's not just this current one, but it's been in the past. We've had it in the
So with
past.
Obama.
Everyone has something, So
Absolutely.
I do, I've said it before. I do like to try to see people see it from both sides, and and I don't discriminate against political parties, because I have friends who are Republicans, I have friends who are in the middle, I have friends who are Democrats, and we all have different things that we agree and disagree on. But there's nothing wrong with healthy debating.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And sometimes I can see their point. I can understand why they think that particular way. And vice versa. Sometimes they can see the way that I think the way that I think. A lot of it has to do with our upbringings, what's been instilled into us, and sometimes we have to just be able to go. It's like saying, I grew up in the church. If someone says, I grew up in the church and I believe this because that's the religion I was brought up with, but at some point you might get older and realize that you don't agree.
Yeah, exactly.
With that.
You have your own
you
mindset.
found your own path.
Mm-hmm.
And found something else. And that's what life is all about.
Absolutely.
Life is about discovering what works for you, because it is your life to lead the way that you want. And I think that's wonderful. As long as you're not hurting someone else, live it.
Absolutely. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Lobo with the $2. He says 2025 will be the United Cities of America. At this rate, we're pretty much there. He's not far from it.
And Die-Hardman will be running the country.
There you go.
There's going to be a man in a mask be in the Oval Office.
You know what's crazy? The metaphor behind the mask of Die-Hardman, we're all wearing masks. A lot of people didn't catch on that. We're all married. We're all wearing masks.
Isn't that something?
That's the metaphor. I just caught on. I just pieced that together. I'm like, wait, hold up. Aren't we wearing masks right now in 2021?
And the fact that I think he says in the presidential, his speech towards the end, to let there be no more masks to hide who we are, or no more walls to divide us, or masks to hide who we are. Let there be a new America.
Yeah.
And let us hope that that new America is a much more healed America.
Yeah, a vibrant one, hopeful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Die-Hardman is such a character. Again, he's a character that you see mostly in holograms, when you're doing the missions and whatnot. How do you feel about the impact that Die-Hardman has left on gamers? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's interesting because during the course of the release of it, I had no idea how much of an impact this character would have on people in the gaming industry. Certainly not to the extent that it has. And I appreciate the fact that it is a character now that people will go, he now lives within the confines of that Kojima world.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of those characters that people will remember. And that makes me feel great. It's very rarely do you get those opportunities. Some people have been in the voice world for a very long time and have had a number of those characters. Troy Baker is a fantastic friend and also colleague, and I have such great respect for the work that he has done.
Yeah, that guy literally is everywhere. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Funny how you're delivering pizzas in the game. Was not expecting that twist, but you mean to tell me I was delivering this dude pizzas this whole time? You were trying to kill me? So, hey, he's like, Norman, I need one more pizza. I'm like, you get, man.
I know, right? It's crazy. But, I think to be one of those, to have that moment in my career, to be a part of a Kojima legacy has been wonderful. Even if it's the only one I ever do, to be able to walk away and leave that behind and know that people are, inspired in some way, or whatever impact he's left on them, that it is one of those defining characters, So, yeah, I couldn't be more proud of it.
Would you like to see, it's crazy, gaming, again, we just said it's an art form, right? Would you like to see Death Stranding be actually put into a film? Like, turn it into an actual live-action film?
Funny enough, I would say I'm going to say yes, that I would like to see it if it was something that would ever happen.
But you think it hits different? No, okay.
Well, I just think in movie form, you have 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Good point. Yeah.
So
a lot would have to be cut.
A lot would be cut, but you'd have to do it in a way where that story still gets told, and the impact of how it hits. Yeah. It would be interesting because I think it also allows for a lot of flashbacks, a lot of history that you don't normally get a chance to see in gaming, because I think that you could see a flashback of Cliff and Die-Hardman in the younger year and what happened leading up to that. So a lot of that, I mean, we do that in the game as well, but I think certain things allow for time to pass quickly.
Yeah.
In certain ways, Whereas
Tommy.
in the beginning-
I got to ask this because I'm pretty sure you watched. Have you seen Cobra Kai before? The show Cobra Kai.
No, I don't think.
It's the Karate Kid. It's the Karate Kid TV show.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
Cobra
Cobra
Kai.
Kai.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
how about Death Stranding in a Cobra Kai format TV show? You think that would work better than a movie?
Listen, there's certainly enough material.
Yeah.
So in that respect, yes, it could. There's a number of series that you could probably do, and also you have enough characters in it that each series could be based off one of those characters, from their perspective or their point of view. So it does lend itself for longevity over maybe 5-6 series. 6 to 8 episodes, maybe 10 episodes a series, kind of situation. So that definitely it could be possible. Okay. And also, I think it's such a strange story that I think people could really get wrapped up.
It could happen though. You got The Last of Us getting its TV show, and that's I have yet to see any trailers for it, but I know we saw screenshots. They pretty much recreated a lot of shots with it, so I'm pretty sure they can recreate a lot of shots with Death Stranding, minus one particular one with the water and the big. I forgot the name, the biohazard name, but I was like, I don't think they're gonna be able to recreate that. That's gonna only be able to be done in movies, but maybe. You never know. Look at Walking Dead.
You never know.
Yeah,
you never know because there are big budget TV shows, that have that.
That's true.
And depending on the budget and the people who are producing it, and if they're like, listen, we're gonna do this, but we have to do it justice the way it should be done.
That's true. We got a tiger in The Walking Dead finally, so that happened.
And recreating some iconic moments from Death Stranding, those things, because there's some serious moments that it would just be interesting to see how they do it. If that was the case, I'd be front and center watching that.
There you go. 100%. I can actually see you with the mask on, just sitting there going role playing, watching the entire show. That needs to be a series on your channel. Like Die-Hardman watches the trailer for Death Stranding. That would be badass. I ain't gonna lie. That would be cool as hell. What's up, Corbin Dowles? What's up, Mooch? Craig is in the building. What's going on? Squid Eye, Rob, what's going on? He says, can you ask him, is he a fan of Mass Effect video games? Well, unfortunately, Tommie here is not a gamer. He's not really a big gamer. But I'm pretty sure if he was given the source material for something like that, he would voice a character for Mass Effect.
By all means. Listen, I'm being more. It's like I said, I voice a lot of games, and it's funny because I go in and I love it. I love the process. I love what it entails, and sometimes I do get a chance to see some of the work that I have done on it. But I go in, I do my thing, and I get out, and then I'm on to another project or something. And so I never really get the chance.
Yeah, you're working on a spreadsheet, basically. Yeah. I see you. Out here grinding. I see you, Tommie.
A whole list. There's a whole list of stuff that I need to try and experience and do more of. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I love the gaming world. I love it.
Yeah, I'm shocked you don't listen. You're missing a golden opportunity, man. It would be awesome to see Die-Hardman full character play Death Stranding. I'm just saying, you played the game. Get a PS5, PS4, and play the game.
Who's to say
stream
that
it.
It's not on the cards? Who's to say that it's?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if it's on the cards. It's on the cards. If it's on the cards, it's on the cards. We're tuning in. I'll be there. I'm like, let's go. Die-Hardman director.
He's sitting there going, right, let's see what this is all about.
What's up, Crispy Bob? What's going on? So that's all the gaming related questions for the game. These are bonus questions. These are strictly for Tommie here. We're gonna get a little bit more, get to know this awesome guy a little bit more real quick. And these are rapid fire. There you go. He's got the mask. There he is. Looks just like him. Somebody screen cap this. Somebody clip that. Somebody clip that. That's going on Twitter. Somebody clip that. So Tommie, I gotta ask you, man. This is where we get to know you even more. What's your favorite film and what's your favorite genre?
So this is interesting because I love a lot of films. There's been one particular film that is probably it's not an action film or anything, but it's the one film that's always moved me, and it still moves me to this day when I see it. Is The Color Purple, and it's a
Ah,
Spielberg.
okay.
And
Whoopi, yeah, powerful
it's
film.
just an emotional movie, and sometimes I can get lost in this particular movie because of what happens to
Seeley.
this particular woman, to Celie, and her sort of the turnaround, and also just the cinematics of it was
Yeah.
just absolutely stunning.
Steven
And the
Spielberg
performance.
made, if I remember correctly, directed that,
Yeah,
and which
correct.
is shocker because my mom. It's funny. My mom actually got me to watch that with her, and I used to, and we that's like our chill movie. We watch together. Like I see her watch on the couch. I'll sit down. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
by my
it's
mother. You know,
the
what I mean, it's that one film you just watch. It's funny. You know the
It's
lines. You know the
literally one of
yeah.
those. Yeah. If it's on television and you come across it, I'm like, it just the channel stops. I
Yeah.
sit down and I'll pick up from where it is. It could be 5 minutes from the end, and
You're
I'll
like,
still
I just tune in. You'll watch
I
till
just
the very end just for
yeah,
the payoff.
yeah.
And, you know,
I
and
don't know why it is, why it resonates. And I have friends who have done the show, the Broadway show of it and things like that. And it's just one of those stories. And I think that it was done so well.
yeah.
And also Alice Walker, who wrote the book. I think they paid a wonderful tribute in terms of that. And it's Celie's journey. And she's also another character that's discovers herself.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. Yeah. She went from being a
yeah,
scared, mentally defeated woman to being more
yeah,
brave and
yeah,
brazen and open.
absolutely.
And you saw her shine. And I thought I
Yeah,
still think that's Whoopi's best role of all
yeah,
time,
it's
personally.
stunning,
Yeah,
stunning.
absolutely. What's
Yeah,
funny about that film too? The whole Steven Spielberg thing. My mom introduced me to that. My mom, I owe her a lot when it comes to Steven Spielberg because she took me to see Jurassic Park, and we bonded even further with Jurassic Park and all that stuff. So
right.
I was like,
Yeah,
that's how we were. But
yeah.
for the love of God, she would not watch. She would not watch one particular film that I would always recommend we watch, and it was what was it? She doesn't watch horror films at all. I was like, let's watch this film. She's like, no, she'll go away. I'm like, well, okay. And I turned out. She thought she was when I was younger. She never watched those type of films, but
She didn't like horror films.
nah.
Listen, there's only one horror film to this day that scares the shit out of me, and it is The Exorcist. And
Ah, okay.
I grew up with this film,
That
and
going
it
all the way
scared me
back.
then. It goes way back. I'm showing my age now, but it was scary then, and even in this day and age now, I can watch it, and even though I can laugh at some of the
The
the,
effects, practical.
the effects in it now, but it's just the overall how it all happens, everything. It's just freaky, and I do like horror movies. I went to see a couple of horror movies like on Halloween a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
and I hadn't done that for a while, where I literally go into a cinema and watched a horror movie, and people just lose themselves,
yeah.
you know.
Think you talking about Halloween 2018? That one? Did you see that one?
Yeah,
Yeah. I thought that was
yes,
good. Yeah. That was
yeah.
good.
I went to go see
Halloween
that. Yeah.
Kills was pretty good too. Did you see that one? Halloween Kills.
No.
That was pretty good. It lives up to the name Kills, but it's not like as a little ambitious as the first one.
Right.
But
Right.
that one, this was a gore fest versus that one. So
Right.
Halloween
Right.
Ends is the one that if you want the true ending, I'm guessing they're
Right.
doing
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I love all that. I love it. So yeah, that's kind of my favorite movie. That's the one. It just if I had to pick one, that's the one that always first comes into my mind.
uh,
But obviously there's a whole collection of things that I love.
I got a
Absolutely.
horror movie I need you to watch, unless you've seen it already. It's called The Descent.
I don't think I've seen this.
You know, seen The Descent? Yeah, okay. You said that was the scariest movie of the time was The Exorcist. I think we got a winner with The Descent. I think that's going to beat it. So
Okay.
The Descent is about a bunch of cave explorers, like cave climbers, and they
Yeah.
go into they're basically trying to explore a ton of caves, name them themselves, be the first ones to explore stuff.
Sure.
And one particular woman who's the leader, she leads them to this unmarked area. It hasn't been discovered and nothing like that, and then they slowly find that it's got some secrets
Right.
in there, and that's the best I'll tell you. It's very
Wow.
deep.
Okay.
I
The
think
Descent.
The
Okay.
Descent. I think you need to watch that. I think you'll be
Okay.
blown away by how far we've come in terms of horror. Dewan wanted to ask you: are you in the Netflix series Lupin with Omar Sy?
So I'm in it, but not in it.
Okay.
What I am is I am the voice of Babacar.
Okay. There you go. Yeah.
In the English dub.
Okay.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
This is a good question, to know you personally. Again, do you ever
Sure.
get nervous when you do these roles, like when you're recording at all? You ever feel
Um,
like
I,
like
I don't think I get nervous per se. I do have the moments where I'm in that
adrenaline?
I have adrenaline,
Yeah.
but I think I'm more focused on getting it right.
Uh-huh.
Um, in terms of the for the writer and also for the creators and the producers in terms of what they want. I just always like to make sure I'm on the right track for the vision
Mm-hmm.
and what they have. So I don't really get nervous going in to do stuff. I love it. I love going in because it's a chance to go in and try different things and try different ideas out and things
Right,
like
of
that.
course. Yeah.
You
Stay in
know,
your
so
craft.
yeah, I look forward to it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm actually curious because I see, Troy Baker and everything. I see Norman and everything. Why don't I see you in the superhero genre? Like, would you ever voice a Marvel character?
Oh, I most definitely
Yeah, I'm surprised
would.
I don't see it. Like, we got Black Panther, for example.
Sure,
He just got like a little expansion in the Avengers game. But I've been lobbying for a Black Panther game for a while where it's just like his
right,
own thing. I mean,
sure.
is that a character that you would
Listen, I
try
would
for?
love the opportunity to, I'd love the opportunity. There's a lot of things I'd love to do. At the same time, I think it's interesting because as a stage actor and as a TV film actor and a voice actor,
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like people are still getting to know me as a voice actor because as
Okay.
much voice work as I've done, which I've done tons of,
Yeah.
it's never been in I've voiced so many games and I've done characters in so many games and a lot of new upcoming stuff that's coming out that I haven't been able to talk about yet,
Mm-hmm.
which is also exciting. But it's just I think now I'm just at the stage where now people are starting to go, oh yeah, let's hear him for this or whatever. You know what I mean? And so it's I would love the opportunity to do something Marvel.
I say that
Definitely.
that's the move. Everybody's voicing the
Uh,
character. Everybody's a character now. So
Yeah. So
that's
if
the
anybody
move.
out there from Marvel is listening, listen, call me up. Let's have a little chat. I'll come in. I'll read for you. You know what I mean? And it's
Hey man, it's possible. We might get the X-Men down the
hey,
road in a game or something. I
right,
mean, we got
right.
Logan.
Listen,
I don't know if you saw the trailer. Logan is getting the
mm,
game. So yeah,
yeah.
that's another.
So the thing is, and there's so many characters. I mean, I actually was on Marvel website not long ago and looking at the list of like Marvel characters.
Hmm.
There's hundreds,
Yeah, there's
hundreds
a lot. There's a
of
lot
them
of mutants.
that I've never even heard of. That at some point I'm sure they're going to get an origin story. Do you know what I mean? That'll be
Yeah.
popping out. But there's so many characters. And also the opportunity to, it's interesting because characters, these fictional characters, and it's how voices are chosen for
Yeah.
them. A lot of times they do go for high profile people, which is one of the reasons why I feel so grateful about Death Stranding because it could have easily probably gone to a much higher profile actor.
Of
Um,
course. Yeah.
at that moment, and I'm so grateful that they took the chance to let me do it and to do what I did, and I'm so appreciative of that. And because those opportunities don't come along very often, and to be able to do it and to have such a great role. I love this character, absolutely love this character, and hopeful for something else for him to come back, or if there was to be something else for him to research, and yeah, it'd be wonderful. It'd be wonderful, but I love it.
Okay. What would be your dream character to voice?
Oh wow, a dream character.
Yeah.
Oh man, I Green Lantern. I think is
Oh.
be a cool character to do. And also there's characters that I think, just giving a new twist on, if there were other games and stuff. And even though I know some have been done before, I love the idea of doing like a Nick Fury kind of thing.
Okay.
But there's also future games that might be coming out. I'm not sure. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of research. I'd love to be able to sort of just go down a list and think, oh, I'm reading.
I could voice that guy.
Yeah, I would see what they can do with that.
Okay.
Who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities.
All right. So this is the last question here, and then I'll get to the closing one. What was the best part of working with Sony and Kojima Productions?
I have to say, I think it was probably the environment.
Okay.
Working there, there's this sort of family unit.
Oh, okay. So it didn't feel like a job. You just felt like you were part of just a family.
I just felt like I was
vibe.
part of something. You'd go into work every day, and everyone's happy. Everyone's there to make magic happen. And we're all in it, and we're all discovering. We're all trying new things, and you have a little break. You go outside. You have a little chat, and and I loved that aspect of it, working with Mads and Norman. There was a lot of times where we would just kind of sit outside on a break, and I think there's a couple of photos floating around of us all sitting outside, and so that was always cool. And we did, we discuss, and I like that aspect, people interested, and also for Kojima, it was a collaborative experience in terms of wanting to know what worked for you, what are aspects of you that we can bring, and it just felt like it was something that was very cohesive. It was, we were all in it together. It wasn't like this is what it has to be, this is what I want it to be, and it wasn't like that. It was, let's do it and figure out how to make it work. And at the end of the day, my job was to go in, tell the story, and try and do exactly what it was that he wanted me to convey. And I think we did that really well, and that had a lot to do with the working environment as well, which was comfortable, and everyone at Sony and everyone at KGP were just amazing. It was amazing to work with, and like I said, I think it was the day that I had to do that scene, which I've started calling.
I like how you just call it that scene. I mean, technically, because it's that scene because it was the most unexpected scene. Nobody was expecting that. It was like,
yeah. When everyone goes, that scene, yeah.
It's like, now we know why he's quiet, because he has a lot of trauma.
Yeah,
behind the mask.
Dude,
like, it makes sense.
I was so shaky after that. Literally, when it was the last thing I did of that day, and I knew it was going to happen, and everything, and I just kind of thought, okay, today's the day. We're doing that, and we did it in one take.
Wow, one take.
Kind of like shocked that it was. We did a second take, but purely for just kind of the safety of it. But we did it all in one take, which was, I think when you kind of get on that kind of a roller coaster, you don't stop it until the ride comes to an end. And it was very much like that. But yeah, and I think on that day I could see, and everyone was a little emotional at the end of it. People were a little teary because I was teary and crying, and it was. So, I don't think I've ever done anything like that.
About that scene, a good friend of mine, his name's Alex. Oh no, it's Alex. He's a big Kojima stan like me, so he played the game. And we were talking about, I was sitting there going, I told him, I was like, listen, Alex, there's going to be a part in this game near the end. You're going to be like, yeah. So the big reveal happens with Norman and his father, and he just literally just goes, or he does that. And then when your character breaks down, a single tear. I was like, I died. I was like, I warned you. I warned you. Yeah, I warned you. I warned him. And he didn't expect it. He's like, this has got to be the most personal game I've ever played. I'm like, it is.
Yeah.
It's very personal.
Yeah. It really is. It really is.
That's the beauty of Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Tommie, let me tell you, man, I want to thank you so very, very much. This is an honor to speak with you.
Oh,
and
man,
Oh, dude, it was incredible. And I always ask this, I was my first time asking this as now a freelancer with IGN. So I got to ask this as a closing comment. Could you tell the chat on a scale of 1 to 10 how much fun you had on the show? And could we possibly see you again down the road, maybe in 2022?
Oh man, that question on a scale from 1 to 10, I am off the charts, dude. I am so far past 10 on this gig. Oh no, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I would be honored to come back anytime. And you very well may have me back in 2022.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, Die-Hardman. We're going to definitely get him on here again. We'll probably talk some gaming with the guy, see how he likes the industry and how things are moving. I'll definitely put some interesting stuff together. But let me tell you, man, it was an honor to speak with you. Honor to get your perspective. Very inspirational and how you go about things, and very deep and how you see it. And I love that. I really love that, I was like, that. I was like, how are we going to end this incredible year? I was like, you know what? I got to get Director Hoffman on the show. I really do. I'm such a big fan of Death Stranding. I loved it on the PS4. When I saw the easy mode version on PS5, I was like, I was looking at my reaction. I'm like, Kojima, really? How much just give me part 2? Kojima, if you're listening, because I tagged him. I was like, look, Kojima, you listen? Just give me part 2. I'll take part 2. I don't want no easy mode version. But shout out to you, man. What I'm gonna do is I'm trying to get Norman on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk to you off air about that. But I'm trying to get Norman on the show, and I reached out to Mads before, and he was busy. Yeah. So maybe we can get a reunion going on here. That'd be fantastic if we get all 3 of you on the show at one of these points. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Fingers crossed, people. Fingers crossed. But Tommie, won't you please tell people where they can find you on, obviously, YouTube, of course, Twitter. I know you're very active there. Instagram.
Yeah.
Where can they find you?
You can get me on Twitter at TJ84. That's TEEJAYE 84 on Twitter. Tommie Earl Jenkins official on Instagram. Just type that in, you'll be able to find it. I am on YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel. By all means, hit me up. My DM's open. Send me messages. If I can get back to you, I most definitely will. I'm pretty active, so yeah, hit me up.
Yeah, he's very active, guys. He's very quick. I promise you, he's very, very quick. He was super excited when I hit him up. I was like, oh, yeah, let's book. Booked. We're ready.
Booked and blessed.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys enjoy your weekend. Thank you guys so much for an incredible year. Shout out to everybody who came through. Phenomenal show. The energy was amazing. I really appreciate it. And happy holidays indeed to all of you. Make sure you guys tune in to Tommie's stream. He's doing a holiday special on his channel, Tommie Earl Jenkins, that's on YouTube. That's his YouTube channel. All right. Thank you guys again for watching. I will see you guys in terms of live streams in 2022. We're not doing any more live streams. This is done. That's it. 2021 is a wrap. But you might see some videos from yours truly on the channel. But until then, I love you all. I thank you very, very much. Of course, Tommie, I love you. I love Die-Hardman. I love it doing. So thank you again. Thank you so much for the conversation. I really, really do appreciate it. Getting to know you was awesome, and just hearing your perspective. And I'm glad. It was awesome to hear your points, especially on how the state of the world is. That's another thing I think a lot of conversation that a lot of us need to really have too on everything. And thank you for that. So, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all will be easy. And that right there is the end.